I don't know when you'll get this video. We had no internet yesterday evening. I was up in the night because I'd got heartburn, and there was internet. And then this morning I got up and there isn't any internet. I've had no 4G either for 2 or 3 days now, and I'm not really sure what's going on. We checked the telephone line that runs through this horse chestnut tree, and that's fine, because sometimes you can lose internet, because that's how our internet comes into the house. And sometimes you can lose internet or have intermittent internet if the branches are touching the line, and they're not. So we've done all of that. I don't really know what's going on, so I don't know. There are videos there are vlogs to publish, and I can't get on to do any of that. I won't be able to upload this until, I don't know whether I won't. No, I won't. I've not even been able to. It must be some setting on my phone that I've switched somehow by mistake, because even when I'm away from here, I'm not picking up a 4G signal. Unless 4G's gone down, but I haven't heard that it has, and I can't ask anybody because I can't get onto the internet to say, has anybody. I did ask actually some days ago, but I got no replies. So yeah, so I don't know when you'll get this. I've got there's a vlog waiting to come where I've shown you that I've found the egg stash. I found a egg stash, and then last night we went down, and we went down late, so we'd both got our head torches on, and Mark went into the sheep shelter, and there were eggs there where she was laying before, and I don't know how I missed them. I'm pretty sure I'd been looking for them. So I picked up 6 eggs from behind the compost heap, behind a cardboard lid. Picked up those, and then yesterday evening picked up another 6 from her normal laying spot, which is, it's always the way. If you buy eggs, eventually you give in. I'm going to buy some eggs, and you buy some eggs, and then you find the stash, and that's what's happened. But I have used them. I haven't used them yesterday, last night's 6, but I've used them. We had scrambled egg, and we had egg and chips, I think, yesterday, because I just couldn't get my head around making anything special for lunch. So yeah, lots and lots of comments on my angry ranting vlog. Lots of positive comments. A couple of people don't seem to get the point. I've made some posts as well, and there's a couple of people having an argument on there, like school children in the playground. Well, he started it, she started it, and I can't be fucked to go and say anything, do anything. So hopefully they will have stopped by the time I get my internet back, and it's not the middle of the night and I'm not sleepy. And if they haven't, if they carry on, I'm going to delete them both, because block them both, because it's deliberately distracting. It's deliberately distracting from the issue. There is someone called Piss and Vinegar. What an awful name. What an awful name. It must mean something to them. Who's got quite stroppy with me and asked me a question that last night when I read it, I was too tired to be able to reply to it. And I can sort of reply, I think, today. But it will be from memory, because I can't see the question in front of me now. But it was about babies being aborted at full term, or babies being aborted when they're viable, which can be from 22 weeks onwards, or what do you think? It's like, well, what I think is that there should be a cut-off date. Absolutely. I think that cut-off date should be 14 to 16 weeks, but it's preferable if it can be done sooner. But it completely misses the fact that that people that have discovered, people that have discovered that the baby they're going to have to give birth to, because they can't have an abortion, has got no brain, or is completely, not viable, will not be viable, will be born and be dead, or will die. It completely misses all those anomalies. when you're just talking about, you know, weeks and whatever, it dismisses the, you know, the people that have discovered some awful thing that's going to happen, that they're going to have to carry on and give birth to this baby. Now, even if they carry to full term, and even if you want to call it abortion at full term, that the baby's removed at full term, if it's a dead baby, it's a dead baby. You know, making a woman, actually, in reality, I'm not sure. I remember when I was nursing that there was a woman who came in who had cancer. Now, hold on, I need to get this right, but she either had cancer or had been having chemotherapy and not knowing that she was pregnant, and then discovered she was pregnant, and of course the chemo had really damaged her baby. And she was, the baby was alive, and when it was born, she was over 20 weeks, over 22 weeks, maybe 24 weeks. And she, knowing that this baby was it had encephaly, was going to not survive, she still had to go through labour. And I think that is, it feels punishing, it feels punitive. It's, you know, to know that I've got to give birth to this baby who's not really going to live for long. Oh no, they didn't. They did. No, they did a hysterotomy. It's called a hysterotomy. They did remove the baby, and I remember they were allowed to spend a couple of days, I think, sort of having the baby, holding the baby, cuddling the baby, and each time we'd take it back to the mortuary, not the mortuary, but somewhere cold. That was in the days before babies, they have special cots now for babies so that parents can say goodbye properly. But I think this baby was 24 weeks. But it's I think my issue is that some women have reached a certain point and then discover that their baby is no longer alive, is it, you know, it's going to be stillborn, have to give birth to them, have to go through labour. And I think that there may be a good reason for it, but for me it feels really punitive. So yes, I think there should be a cut-off point, and I think probably tops 16 weeks. But that isn't really the point. The point is women should have the choice, not High Court judges. Women should have the choice whether they give birth, not High Court judges. So I may not have answered this question, but then I can't see it, so I don't want to. I probably said more than you want to hear. I lost 4 subscribers, so I'm not sure. Maybe they were pro-life, and that always makes me laugh. I think I shared it, the cartoon of the cartoon with the guy with a gun on his shoulder and a banner saying pro-life. It's such bollocks, isn't it? Absolute bollocks. But I'm going to stop doing that. Not going to go any further with that because I've done that. We have got our boosters this evening, early evening, in La Roche-Posay, which we haven't been to for 15 years. It used to be somewhere that was relatively close to where we lived, and now we don't live there. It's not relatively close. It's a well-known town in France. It's a spa town. Lots of spas there, so it'll be quite nice to go there this evening and have a look and see how it looks now compared to our memory of it. So we've got those, and I've got my last art of the term tomorrow. My Clio, my prof, is stopping for 2 months this year. She normally stops at the end of July, but she's stopping this week because her husband is the one that had the heart attack, severe heart attack, has to go for rehab, and it's residential rehab. I think comes home at the weekends, and I think stopping means that she can go backwards and forwards and visit him. I can't believe that that happened. You know, he's slim, he doesn't drink, he eats healthily. I think, and the problem is, I know that in the rehab is a month. I don't think that happens in the UK. He gets a month of residential rehab where he gets re-educated. It's called re-education. It sounds like a communist regime, doesn't it? They've gone for re-education, um, but he gets physical support, information, education, and gets psychological support, which is so important, so important. Um, because when you have, and it was a severe heart attack, he's now got 8 stents, which I find quite shocking. When you have reached that point of nearly dying and discovering that actually you're not immortal, which I know that we all know, especially as we get older, we're much more aware of our mortality. But when you reach that point and come back, it's such a shock, and you've got all of that to deal with and cope with, and all of that. Suddenly your life has completely shifted from the free spontaneity, spontaneous going out for a walk, getting in the car, going. He used to go and work in Paris sometimes. All of that is like, it's gone. He can't have that now. Not for now. Not until he's done his rehab. And you know, so to not be able to suddenly find that, and he is the driver of the family, to suddenly find you can't drive your car, and just get into the car and nip to the shop is, it's like having your, I don't know, it's like having your hands chopped off in a way, isn't it? It's, suddenly you can't have anything, you can't do anything, everything that you do, you have to think about. So yes, it's my last art tomorrow, and then she's stopping, and she'll have 2 months off, and I think she's looking really tired, and I want her, because obviously she's had a shock as well, and um, I'm hoping both of them are much better by the time we go back in September. I will try and arrange, once we're going to the UK soon. Once we come back, I'll sort out a time for them to come over for a meal, where I'm given a list of what I can make, because he's not allowed to have salt. He had things that he wouldn't eat anyway, like garlic and onions, I think, and because they disagreed with him. But I think what I wanted to say was that he'll be given re-education about diet, but quite often the reality is that some bodies just make cholesterol. Whatever you put in your body, whatever you eat, some bodies just make cholesterol, and it's a genetic thing. And sadly for him, he's probably one of those that does that. Um, and he, Mark and I, morbidly obese are prime candidates for a heart attack. So it was a real shock for us to discover that him, slim, fit, had a heart attack. Just a shock. Another friend is in hospital and probably on the operating table today. He's had a tumour here that's been there some months. He's been waiting to go into hospital. He went in on Monday and had MRI scan and blood tests and all of the preliminary stuff. I don't know why he went in on Monday for his op this morning, but again, that's France. There's not I don't think that there's the heat on beds. There's not this desperate bed turnover thing going on. It's like when I went in a few months back for my tests. I think that in England they wouldn't have kept me kept me in a bed for that long. They could have done what they did, and then if they wanted to keep me in for a little bit longer, they could have sent me off to sit somewhere and wait for this test and wait for that test. But I was in a room and blocking a room. Really, in England that wouldn't happen. I don't know how the rehab is in England. Is there a month's worth of rehab, residential rehab? I doubt it. So I'm really pleased that this is the health system that we have here. Yes, so tomorrow is our Friday, I don't know. And then we've got to start thinking about packing and what we need to take with us. I was reading an article yesterday that Professor Chris Whitty, who was quite high profile during the COVID outbreak, talked about sewage being pumped into the water, the rivers in the UK, saying that you know that needs to stop or be regulated. Because what happened was, when Brexit happened, those European regulations about clean water got put by the wayside, as did a lot of regulations. So now we're in the situation of, when we go back, if I'm going to be taking bottled water with me. And I was just recalling that when we went to Spain, I think it was about 40 odd years ago, we were told not to drink the water. And now I'm not going to be drinking the water, I'm going to be taking bottled water. It's shocking, isn't it? Shocking. Well, this has been a long rambling one. I don't know what I'm going to call it. The long rambling one. There we go. I shall call it, if I remember by the time I'm able to upload it, the long rambling vlog. So you'll get this. I'm not sure. Depends when I'm able to upload it. Okay. Bonne journée.